Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another stream from Hugo's desk. I hope you can hear me well. I hope the sound is good. Just let me know in the comments if everything is okay. So today we are not doing the radio show. Today it's all about the showreel reviews. So we have two showreel reviews that we're gonna do today, and um, we're going to start them in a couple of minutes. First of all, of course, like always, I'm going to want to say a few things. But first of all, thank you so much for being here. We're now, as I explained last time, we're now doing these streams every week. So next week, we're going to continue with the radio show. I'm going to try to find a way to have them twice a week because I kind of feel like I would like to do the radio show always, every week, because there's always stuff to talk about, because of the industry. And so for example, last week we talked about the AI and we talked about the state of the industry. We talked about Blender in relationship to Flow. And also this week, for example, I would have loved to talk about AI and about the Studio Ghibli debate and all those things. So I think we're going to definitely talk about that next week. So I think there's definitely a place where we can have the radio show every single week. And then the showreel reviews maybe every 2 weeks. So I think we're going to switch to a bi-week stream as soon as I can. Anyway, no, you are right, Nicholas. We didn't have sound on the intro, but we are all good now. Nicholas is contacting me over Twitch. Remember, I'm streaming both on YouTube and Twitch, so it's up to you if you prefer to watch it on YouTube or if you prefer to watch it on Twitch. They're both being broadcasted, and it's really up to you for which one you want to do. So, like I said, we have two showreel reviews today. But before we even do the showreel reviews, first of all, I would love to thank my sponsor. This stream is sponsored, not like last one. So I would love to give me my heartfelt thanks to BenQ for sponsoring this stream. BenQ is really, without a doubt, the only reason why we have the showreel reviews. And they've been supporting my channel for years. I think they've been supporting the channel for 6 or 7 years. So thank you so much for being a sponsor. Thank you so much for giving so much to the community, for the giveaways, for the heartfelt support over the years. And would like to personally thank Vincent for all the support and help that he gives me month in, month out, and in with the ambassador program. So thank you so much, BenQ. With that said, I would love to roll a BenQ commercial since they are the sponsors of this stream. So before we even begin with anything regarding showreel reviews, I'm just going to play the BenQ commercial, and then we can begin the stream. And then we can kind of get over. We also have to talk about the giveaways and everything. So I'll be right back. This is only going to be like a minute long. And again, thank you so much, BenQ, for sponsoring the stream. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. So once again, thank you so much, BenQ, for supporting the channel for so long. It's much appreciated. A few things that I would like to just let you know. I already kind of mentioned that next week we're going to have the radio show. So I will be back next week on Thursday for the continuation of the radio show. This time the topic will be AI and the Ghibli studio and all the shenanigans that are happening because of that. I'll change the title on it. All these streams are already available for you to book on your calendar. So if you go to YouTube, to my YouTube page, you can already find already the scheduled streams for the next show reviews and also for the next radio show as well. I can see that Dhruv, I think it's how I pronounce your name, Dhruv, is already mentioned that he was supposed to be at 3, but he just got home. Don't worry about it. We've swapped the bookings, so I'm going to have you last, and then we already got someone else to be the first artist to be reviewed. So don't worry about it. It's not a problem. Stuff happens sometimes. It's not a problem at all. That's not a problem, Chris. I can see Chris Nicholas on Twitch as well. So thank you so much for being here. Okay, so as I was saying, call radio show next week and join next week for a lot of conversation about AI. Also, the return of the Nuke Disconstructions, I don't have dates yet, but they will be happening this month. So at some point, April. At some point in April, we're going to come back with the Foundry streams for Nuke Disconstructions. I'm going to try to see if I can talk about the last project I did. I'm trying to get permission for that. I just was lead compositor on a TV show for Amazon Prime, and I would love to show those shots, but I'm going to see if I can get permission to show them, and if I can get like some kind of clearance to see if I can show the behind the scenes and show the breakdowns of those shots. It would have been really interesting to do this construction from the last project I did, which I just delivered in November last year, which was for a TV show for Amazon Prime, which I don't think it's available yet on Amazon Prime. So I'll let you guys know the name of the show and everything once it's out. It's a Swedish TV show. So that's the other thing. Also, don't forget the showreel reviews. Of course, we have one today, but next one's is the 4th of April. Just wanted to let you all know that for that one, it's already fully booked. I already have 3 slots already fully booked. And then on the 14th of April, I only have 1 slot booked. So we have 2 slots for free on the 14th of April. So if you want to have a showreel review, just go to the links that are on the description of this video, or any of the showreel reviews, really, for that matter, or even on my social media. I've posted links for you to get to the booking system, and I'll post them on the chat in a second. And so, well, I'll do that right now. So if you want to get booked in terms of, I'll just open this up. If you want to go ahead and book yourself, where is it? Here he is. I'll put it on the chat. So there's still 2 slots for that date. I'll put it on both chats, Twitch and YouTube. So if you want, there's still 2 free slots on the 14th of April. And then the 21st of April, I don't have any slots. So there's 3 free slots. So there's 5 slots in total for people to sign up. Obviously, 21st of April won't be the last showreel review. I'm going to continue with the showreel reviews, but I'm posting these like 4 at a time, like the dates, so that we book them and then it's over and then we do them again, and that's kind of the idea behind this. Also, don't forget that my Nuke course is 50% off. The discount will continue. I'm trying my best to support the artists that are trying to get back to the industry now, and so the discount will continue for some time to come. So if you want interested on my new course, that's the link. It's on the screen as well. Both of them are 50% off, and then you can also have a bundle as well. Let's not forget also that I have a giveaway today. I actually forgot to put the giveaways link here, so let me just do that real quick before I forget. So the giveaway would be, where is it? Should have done this before, apologies, but I kind of forgot. There you go, I found it now. So the giveaway would be this, and it would be here. So that's the giveaway link, and that's the giveaway for today. So there's a Nuke course up for grabs, completely free. Just go to that link or use the QR code, and you can join the giveaway that I will be doing at the end of the stream. Yeah, that's it. One last few mentions that I just wanted to mention, everyone. I don't know if you guys know, but we now have a dedicated VFX Notes Podcast Patreon. And so if you're interested on supporting the Patreon, we have exclusive episodes that only exist in Patreon. So if you become a Patreon supporter, you get to see some special episodes we've done about Deadpool and Wolverine. We did a special episode about Twisters. We did a special episode about Gladiator 2. We also did some extra episodes for Wicked and for Better Man, for Planet of the Apes, and also for Alien Romulus. So every week we have a special bonus episode on the Patreon only. And so the podcast will continue on YouTube for free, of course. And that is on seasons. The next episode is about Dune, Dune Part 2, which is going to drop next week. But there are special extra bonus episodes on Patreon, just for Patreons. And they will never be released to the public. They're just available for Patreon. And we already have 7 already there. So if you sign up to the Patreon, you get access to all 7 already. So it's a really good bargain because you get so many. Basically you get them for like $1 each. Which is, if you like the show, if you like our podcast, please consider supporting it. If you can't do it, and if you don't have the money now, that's not a problem at all. The podcast will continue for free as well, and we love your support, and so that's not a problem at all. Last thing before we do the showreel review, just wanted to let everyone know, as I usually do, that the book from my wife for Green Recipes for All is available on Amazon, on all Amazons, US, UK, India, Germany, France. It is an amazing book if you like good food. It's, of course, focused on vegetarian and vegan food, but it's a really good book. The link is there on the chat right now. I'm going to put the link as well. And I promise that this will be the only moment of this stream that I will be selling or flogging things. But just wanted to mention, go and support creators, even if it's not just me. Go and support. And my wife is, of course, a creator. She has a YouTube channel and she has a lovely book. The book is available on digital, and the book is also available on paperback as well, and also available on hardcover. So if you want to support her endeavor and have some good food, of course, I'm biased because I love her. She's my wife, but her food is amazing. So go and check that out. It's also available on Kindle, so you can also check it out. There will be a trailer about the book during the break. So as usual, we have a break during this stream. And that's pretty much it. I don't want to waste any more time. I flogged everything I had to flog. And again, thank you so much for all the support and all the love you guys always give me every week. And it's always lovely to do these streams. So with that in mind, let's start the stream. So I'm going to connect and see if anyone is home. Let's see here. Hopefully they're here. And hopefully they're ready and they have their mics and everything. And then we can start the review. Of course, I have to sign in to Google, of course, because, I just logged in this morning, but of course it couldn't be logged in now. So don't forget, if you want to, while I try to get this login happening, which I had it logged in this morning, but of course now it's not logged in again. Of course, because it is Google being Google. It's always a bit difficult with Google. So I know a lot of people ask me why am I not using Zoom anymore, but Zoom is just too expensive. I'm just not going to support Zoom anymore. I think they're just out of their mind with the price that they're charging these days. So Google is much more affordable, and so that's why I'm going to use it. Okay, so let's see if we can connect. Yeah, that's right, Sotomont. We have some good news. Yes, I really want to talk about that next week on the radio show. Mikros was bought. So I would have hoped that Mikros was not the only one. I really had a huge hope that that MPC and the mill would have been bought as well, especially from the legacy. I was hoping that someone would have bought MPC because of their amazing pipeline that is Oscar winning with Jungle Book and Lion King and all those things. I would have expected it to be bought, but it wasn't. And then the mill, just for the legacy of the commercials over the years and the legacy of the creative aspect of the mill plus, I really found it weird that it didn't find a buyer. But it is a shame, but at least Mikros got it, which is really good news. At least 1 out of 3 will continue and continue as a brand, which is really good news. And so I'm happy to hear that. But it's still not good enough. Yeah, that's the thing, Sigel. Yeah, I've heard that they are retaining the staff. Yes, they are. That's what I've heard. That's what I heard as well. So that's really good news. I don't know if it's they're retaining the entire staff. I hope they do, but you know, it's this is why I'm doing. I apologies. I really sorry, Sebastian, that you're waiting, but I really just wanted to mention this. This is why I'm doing the radio show every week. Because I'm not doing it this week because I'm doing the showreel reviews, but I really want to do it every week because I think we need to talk more about these things. We need to make action. We need to, like, all of us get together, discuss this more often, always have it on our mind, try to on our local communities try to do more. You know, some of you can unionize, others can make action, others can get together and do something. I do feel that the only way we're gonna solve these problems is for us to get together and really kind of like move forward as a group, as one singular force on the industry, a little bit like most other departments of filmmaking do as well. So that's why I really want more conversation. I want more people chatting to each other, and I want to have these town hall meetings, you know, where we all discuss the industry and kind of like, and also vent. You know, there's a lot of venting that needs to happen as well for us to have a platform for us to all talk, and that's why I really think the radio show is, I'm really enjoying doing it because of that. That's why. Anyway, let's start the show review since Sebastian is already waiting. So I'm gonna log them in and see if we can start this thing. So I'm already gonna say to I think it's Is it Sebastian? Let's just double check your name. I think it is Sebastian. Sebastiano, sorry. Apologies. Sebastiano. So, Sebastiano, I cannot use my webcam while I'm talking to you. So we're gonna have to do it on audio if you don't mind, because I'm broadcasting my webcam already for the both YouTube and Twitch streams. So, but I can see that you're not here yet. But maybe you can come in. The call is on already. So once you have a bit of time, let me know, and we can log in and start this show. Are you there? Are you there? I've logged in. It's on already. So let me know when you have the time to come into the call. Okay. Hopefully they. I did. Yeah. I was hoping that they were here, but they're not here. So maybe we wait a bit more. Yes, Christopher, I'm streaming on both. I'm streaming on Twitch and also on YouTube. I always do that because there's quite a few people that ask me to do it on Twitch as well. So,
Oh,
hey, Sebastiano, can you hear me?
yes. Can
Right.
you?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly fine. Thank you so much for joining, my friend.
Thank you for having me. It's like a huge pleasure to be speaking with you and to be here with everyone.
No, of course, no. Our pleasure is all mine, and thank you so much for taking the time to, and also thank you so much for agreeing to switch your slot. I had a cancellation last minute today, and then I had
Hmm.
another artist that was going to be delayed, and so thank you so much for being so helpful with the rescheduling. Thank you so much.
No worries, no worries.
So before we start, Sebastiano, tell me a little bit about yourself. I would love to know where you're calling from and what's up.
Hmm. So I'm from Venice, Italy, and I've been doing CG since 6 years now. And I had the privilege of working in MPC back in 2021.
Ah, cool.
Uh, and I'm mostly specializing on texturing look dub.
Okay, okay, cool. And so you left? Did you leave MPC in 2022? Was that the case?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Because of the visa, we were the first batch coming in with the visa in the UK. So
Okay,
so
okay.
yeah,
And so you returned to Italy. Is that what happened?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so where
But then
what?
I've jumped on to working remotely for a studio in Vancouver for 6 months, and then we all know how the story went on 2023, really.
Yeah, of course.
So
So are you out of the job, or you have work now right now?
I'm actually gonna start a freelance gig next week,
Oh, cool.
but this week I was like, chatting with former colleagues and friends that I've made in London,
Hmm.
and I was like wondering on my showreel, like, do I need to do like another edit? I don't know because I felt like rewatching it that probably the first minute about the production work that I'm showing probably is too long or it's not too catchy. I was wondering like a lot of questions in my mind, and then I saw your post about the showreel reviews, the Honest Showreel Reviews. So I said, yeah, why not? Let's try.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we've been doing these reviews for years now. Like I think I started them in 2018 or something, on Twitch only. Now we're doing them on both places, but they've been going for a long, long time. We went through show reels, like hundreds of show reels on YouTube already. So thank you so much for joining. And so congratulations. Well, at least you have some work next week, and that's really good news. I did briefly mention this last time on my last stream on the radio show last week, and I do think things are gonna pick up quite a lot, especially here in London where I live, because from the 1st of April there is a tax rebate, a 40% tax rebate in the UK
Hmm.
that will last for 9 years, and so I think that will boost quite a lot of productions, and I already saw that firsthand because as soon as the rebate was announced last week, I got contacted from a company right away, asking if I was interested on participating on a project that they wanted to do in the UK. And so I think a lot of the shooting will probably happen because of that rebate, and a lot of companies will probably start, opening up shop here in London again, and also like getting more busy because of that, because of the rebate. So I think the 40% rebate is definitely going to help the VFX industry in London to kind of revitalize a little bit, which is going to be good news for everyone involved because of course, they hire not only people in the UK, but they have a lot of people remote all over the place. So I think it's a little bit more positive, at least for the last few weeks. So which is good.
Totally. You
Yeah,
can totally see also on the Google spreadsheet where all the job postings are sorted. Yeah,
yeah,
you can totally see like the things are starting to move once again. So
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Well, before we get Christopher is saying on the chat, tax rebates are a trap. Yes, you're right. A rebate is a trap, Christopher. But I think the governments kind of have to do something because there's so many rebates in different places. They kind of have. I guess they're starting to compete with each other. I don't know. Definitely, rebates are not a solution, but at least it helps to jumpstart a little bit. But we have other more serious problems that we need to fix anyway. So, Sebastian, I'm going to roll your show reel while we're chatting.
Hmm.
It doesn't have sound, so that's nice because I always get problems with copyrights on sound. I'm gonna
So
share
that's a
my
good first feedback actually. So
yeah, exactly.
okay.
No, yeah, we don't usually care much about sound on show reels. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the same as so I can point out and we can run at the same time. So
Hmm.
so I'm sharing the screen with you. You probably are seeing your own show reel now.
Yep.
And of course, it's going to be a bit choppy on your end, but don't worry because everyone is going to see it correctly on my end on during the stream. So I'm just gonna run it and while we talk a little bit about it. So obviously, I have never seen your showreel yet. As I mentioned on these showreel reviews, I like to be completely surprised for the first time. I haven't watched them. I get them uploaded, but I never really open them because I want to try to have the same reaction as if I was actually getting a show reel at my company and reviewing it for an interview or something. So I
Sure.
have not watched it, but I can already see from just looking at these first shots that you have a lot of really advanced work that you've been doing over years. Apologies if you mentioned this before. I don't remember you did, but how long have you been working in the industry?
In the VFX industry, I started like in 2020, 2021,
Okay, cool.
and since now, yeah. So 4 years. So,
4
yeah.
years. What you meant on the VFX? Did you do something else before? Is that why you mentioned?
Um, yeah, I've started as a journalist in the fashion industry,
Ah, cool.
and then I've also got to work on the feature animation. I also always tend to split those different kind of industries. But yeah,
Oh, that's really
six
interesting.
years in
So
total.
that's really
Hmm.
interesting. You mean fashion industry? What doing 3D for the fashion industry? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, because we have like a multinational corporation here in Italy that is Luxottica. They do like sunglasses and glasses for all over the world. And I was working in the office taking care of producing product render for those glasses.
Oh, I see. I see. Oh, cool. Do you still do that often or not? Not really.
No, no, no.
No.
7 months for me was enough.
It sounds to me the same as when I started my career. I did a lot of animation for corporate movies and for medical animation, and that was definitely enough. I did that for 2 years, and that was way too more to. That was like probably 2 years more than I wanted to have done. So
Yeah, exactly. Because at some point it becomes so repetitive
yeah,
and so
exactly.
robot-like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you don't feel any emotions
yeah.
anymore. So
Yeah,
that's the
no,
thing.
you're right. That's also why I left it. Although I have to respect the fact that it really like helped me a lot at the time because first of all it gave me a job and also it gave me the platform for me to experiment and train and learn more things because of course I had more time and I had like more forgiving clients that I could show things because they would be so terribly impressed by so little, so
Exactly.
which is nice. Okay, let's start first of all. So I as I mentioned many times on these show reels, whenever I see these shots that are final shots, I
Hmm.
don't really have much to say. They've been reviewed. You've had supervisors. They've been out on the movie. It's been out already to the public. They look really good. I mean, there's nothing I can say to help these shots because they are really good, and you've had so many levels of feedback already. So it's not like I'm gonna really give anything to that. But can I ask like what film it is though? Because I don't know which film it is.
It's the latest Transformers, actually.
Okay, okay, cool. So that's the last one that came out. So it would have been
Exactly.
2023 or something that came out, I think.
2023.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And how was working with this? Like, I can see that you were working in the look dev development of the in the texturing of the. How was it working like at MPC Film? Which MPC film was this? Was it where
London.
London? Okay. How was
Hmm.
it? Like, were you here in London working, or you were also remote?
Yeah, yeah, I was there actually. As I said, we were like the first batch coming
Mm-hmm.
in the UK with a visa.
Mm-hmm.
So we were there, and we were doing like hybrid. So 3 days at home and two in the office, and it was kind of nice. But the overall experience was good in the sense of that was my very first production experience. So,
Mm-hmm.
having to be part of a big team like we for texturing and looked at, we were like 20-ish people.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so there's a lot happening throughout the year of the show because I worked only on Transformers for 1 year straight,
Mm-hmm.
and mostly on these two guys that you saw on the first frames.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent like 8 months on them, and the thing that I learned the most was how to reiterate properly between texturing and lookup
Mm-hmm.
while constantly receiving notes and many feedback, as you said, from the lead, from the VFX
Mm-hmm.
supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a great starting point for high-end VFX work, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, as I mentioned, this is really stellar work. So congratulations. It looks really good. I don't really have much to say, but I would say one thing about these shots that you've gathered over here.
Hmm.
It looks to me like I haven't seen this movie, of course, but it looks to me that it's a bit too dark on your showreel to see. I'm sure the shots are dark, but I would probably. It looks to me that maybe there's a bit that it's a bit crushed, or maybe there's some kind of color space misalignment here, because it looks to me like it's a bit crushed, and it's a bit difficult to see your work because of that. So I would really advise you to check that out as well. How did you get these shots? Were you lucky enough to get some breakdowns from them being done, or
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
this is like I just got some part with my work from the
cool,
whole breakdown video that they sent us after.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
cool. That's really cool. You're really lucky because
I know.
not a lot of people have the lucky to have the breakdown. But yeah, I think the this shot here with the daytime and the shot before this one with the explosion looks fine in terms of blacks, and I think it's just the first shot that is really incredibly dark.
Hmm.
And I don't know, maybe there's, and also this last shot as well. It looks like it's a bit. Maybe it's also because maybe it's too compressed or something. I don't know, but
I think so
yeah.
because for what I remember, also the version that I have on Vimeo, the blacks are not that crushed,
Okay, I
so
see.
probably it's compression. But yeah, anyways, there are very dark shots. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
this is
yeah,
why I was thinking that maybe all these shots that I'm showing from Transformer, even though there are production shots, so they are the most valuable things that I can show right
yeah,
now.
yeah, of course.
Probably they're still not enough. They're still not, in a sense of being catchy to the eyes of the recruiter or anyone that is watching the reel. That
Hmm.
was one of my concerns.
Well, I would say that they are definitely they should definitely be here, because I understand what you mean, because it's maybe it's a bit blasé already because everyone has seen so many Transformers, but it's still really outstanding work that you have here from a high level standard visual effects company, and from, so this is should always be here. Regarding the length that you were mentioning, your show reel is almost 2 minutes, so there is a debate that maybe, yes, it probably, I would say that maybe a minute and a half would be a better spot for you to have your show reel. But maybe we can talk about the rest as well, and have a more
Sure.
overview about that. So if I move on to the next part here, so if you go to so okay, so you have a personal project here, which is the crocodile here. So tell me a little bit before we even discuss about why this is here, and if it should be here, or what the order of the show reel should be. Tell me a little bit about this. Like what happened here? Like, you've decided to do crocodile? Is it your own personal project? Is this an old project? What's going on here?
Yeah, I've just found the resources of the model online, and I say, okay, I want to challenge myself on doing creatures for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give it a shot, and let's put all the best work that I can do into this.
Mm-hmm.
So this, yeah, well, this was like the first personal project after MPC.
I see.
So
So
uh,
this was after Transformers.
exactly,
Okay.
this was like in a way to put all the things that I learned back in London.
I see. I see. And so, okay, and then after that you have the elephant, and the elephant is a project for Moonshot Studio. So is this like for a film as well, or is it a TV show? What's going on with this shot?
This is actually Moonshot is a studio that me and other former colleagues from MPC have founded
Mm-hmm.
um, last year, and this is like the very first asset that is going to be available on a future uh, e-commerce. So I just gathered the renders that we did, and I decided to show them actually in the real.
Okay, I see.
The same is
Same.
the same goes for the wolf, but the wolf is still on whip with these renders, to be
Oh,
honest.
so you haven't finished it yet? Yeah. Okay, I see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I see. Okay. And then is that the last thing? I think it's the last thing. So tell me a little bit about. Are you still waiting for more work to put you on a show reel? Did you work on other things that haven't been cleared yet, or is
Yeah, yeah.
Transformers the only, are you still waiting for work to put in?
Hmm. Yes.
Okay, so what, from film or television? Also from MPC or from other places?
No, 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 no. Only from Moonshot because we are, creating new assets every week, every month.
Mm,
So either I'm supervising the texturing or helping on the look dev mainly. So yeah, just waiting to finish to wrapping up all the assets. Can I share with you probably some other my projects on ArtStation?
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Send
okay,
send me the link. You can send me the link. Yeah, I've got it now. Let's.
because I have a few stuff that I was actually wondering if it's like worth it or not
Of
to be
course.
in the final edit. Or
I'm gonna move it around here. Just give me a second. It's here now, so people can see it as well, and you can see it as well. Okay, so
there
this
you
is
go.
it. I'm going to also make that link available for people in the chat if they want to see it themselves as well. So yeah, okay. Okay, it's cool. So okay, I see. So you have even more creatures here. You also even have some humans and some aliens and some robots and everything.
Hmm.
So this is all that work, right? Right. So that you're mentioning all this, except the Transformers, is from that Moon project, isn't it?
So the very first project that you see at the bottom
Yeah,
are my very first project ever for from the previous show reels.
I see. I see. Like this, you're
Yeah,
talking about this, right? Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a practice, for example. Yeah,
I see.
this was my first asset from the very first show reel that I've done. Same goes for the Lone Knight, the first human that you see, and also the creature. Yeah,
Yeah, these are
this
this
is very old stuff.
it's all stuff, but it's really cool, man. Like I like this a lot. Like this is good work. But how you mean when you mean World? You mean 2019? Is that what you mean? Like is
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
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 yeah, I see, I
exactly.
see.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. The same thing with this dude as well here, and then this you have like is this a ring? No, this is
Is this
not.
another practice?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
pendant. Okay, so it's a
Hmm.
pendant that you've done there. Okay, cool.
But like, I was wondering more. Yeah, this is Transformers. No, there's like another robot that I did.
Yeah, it's up. It's up. I think it's after this one. It's yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, this one. I was actually
Oh, this is a bit fast.
thinking, wondering if like could it be worth it in any sense to
Mm-hmm.
because I rendered out only this turntable actually, not other like conditions. So that's
Yeah.
the thing also.
And
Um,
then you have the crocodile, and then you have this human here as well.
mhm.
Okay, I see. See, this is again? Is it the same thing as well? You get the model from somewhere else, or did you model it as well, or
No, no,
how?
I'm charged only for texturing looked up and the shading of groom.
I see.
Exactly.
I see.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see. I guess it's okay. So I guess the thing with this is it depends a bit what you want, Sebastiano. Like what? Because as you can see, your showreel starts with the look dev from Transformers, which is a very mechanical driven type of thing,
Hmm.
with robots, almost like similar to a kit bash kind of like modeling type of development, and very mechanical, very metal based, which would be very good for this kind of productions. But then you kind of have half of your showreel with a lot of creatures, like
Hmm.
animals with skin based materials. What's your objective with this show reel? Do you want to specialize in characters, or do you want to continue doing both, or like what exactly is your objective with having these extra shots here? um I guess my question is, what do you want to do? Like for what is this
Hmm.
show reel for,
The main goal is to be to show to prove in a sense that I can be how do you say adaptable
Yeah.
as a texture looked artist that you can tackle most of the situation, you know, skin driven or metal driven, like art surface and organic,
Mm-hmm.
all of them all together,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
without being too specialized.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
the idea that I always have.
Okay, I see. I see. Yeah, and because in that sense, I'm asking this because it is very
Hmm.
different type of work, and that's why I was asking. And then you kind of have to look into. Have you sent this showreel already, like to companies to try to get
Yeah,
hired?
yeah, yeah.
What
Quite a lot.
did you get feedback, or did anyone say anything?
No, no, never,
Okay.
never, never.
And did you get work because of the showreel, or not really?
Not really of this last sure wheel, to
Okay.
be honest. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Because I think the problem I have, and the problem I have with this is that it is very different type of work. Like obviously when you look at Transformers, that's like a very well-known franchise. It's high standard. It's a MPC. Like it's a movie. So the level of quality is really high. And the level of quality that you have on the animals and models after, they're not really going to be in the same level, mostly because you're not working as a huge team trying to develop something. You're doing it by yourself. So they look really good, but it kind of like when they're all together on the same showreel, it's a different story when you look at them. I'll take it one by one. So I think the
Hmm.
crocodile is actually looks really good. I would kind of maybe say that the look of it itself, the bumpiness and the harshness of the texturing that you have on your crocodile, it
Hmm.
it looks to me like it's a bit too much like stone. So I'm kind of missing that kind of in between that the crocodiles usually have, and I think even you have some references here. Um, when you look at how crocodile skin exists, I think you're missing maybe extra layers of dirt, of dust, and extra things that you can put on top to make it a little less like stone. Because although a crocodile looks like stone because their skin is hard and it's kind of like a reptilian kind of skin, when I look at the crocodile that you've made, this looks to me a little bit too much like he's been pertified, that he's become stone. And I think it's easy to fix by you maybe getting a little bit more. He's, for example, he's supposed to be on this wetland. Maybe make him a bit more wetter on the bottom area. Maybe put a
Hmm.
bit of layers of little pieces of mud, little pieces of dirt, anything that can make the skin look more like it's been moving around and not completely pertified in pure stone. I think the same thing kind of happens on this shot here when you look through here. This kind of almost, I think this is a close-up of the crocodile skin, isn't it, that you're trying to show?
Yeah, it's a
Um,
backlit shot.
yeah, backlit
Hmm.
shot. You see the amount of reflections that I see on this skin, and the amount of
Hmm.
it almost like it reminds me of looking at dead animals on the Natural Museum, because it looks like it's been polished. It looks like the skin has been like cleaned, and it's a taxidermy model instead of a real model. So have that in mind, and I think that happens also on your elephant as well. I do think that you should probably try to consider putting some extra layers of dirt and extra layers of mud and anything that you can do to not make it so clean. So that will
Okay.
be, and kind of get inspiration from your own photos that you have here, which are really nice. This reference photos, and I think the reference photos or kind of like giving you a disservice, because you look at these reference photos and your crocodile is not really completely matching the reference photos that you have. And so it's really good work. Don't get me wrong. I hope you
Hmm.
don't be upset about what I'm
No,
saying.
no, no worries.
I think it's really good work. I just feel that
Hmm.
you could put it into the next level if you add a few more things to it to make it more photoreal as well. And I think the same goes for the elephant itself. So let me just move on to the elephant. You see, I even see it here. You see, when you rotate your environment, I
Hmm.
just think it's too clean and it's too reflective, this crocodile. Maybe just consider that. And then, especially the mouth and especially the interior and the top area as well of the crocodile. Okay. And then the elephant. Do you have, yeah, you have reference to the elephant. I think the elephant is also kind of the same deal. When you look at elephants, they're always very dirty with a lot of extra bits of dry mud and dry dust on top of them. If you look at the bottom photo here, for example, to a point that even the color of the elephant itself becomes changed because of the entire dust layer and muddy layer that it has on top. And so I think it would help a lot for you to put lower dust and lower dirt and lower mud, because where's the final one? When you look in here, see, that's just too beautiful and too clean. It's almost like I look at this elephant and I look at him and think, oh, is this a baby elephant? No, it's not, because it's aged, but it's kind of looks, the scale becomes a bit wrong because it misses that dirt. And also, I think when you rotate here, I can kind of see also that the wrinkles, the typical elephant wrinkles that they usually have, they're really well made. You've done a great job, but if you really look closely, they are usually very uneven throughout the body, and not just because of the dirt and because of all those extra layers that it has on top, but not all parts of the body of the elephant are exactly wrinkled the same way. Some parts are very wrinkled, some parts are less wrinkled. You can see it for the front of the elephant here, for example. You have some rings that are really thick, but then some of them are a bit less deep in terms of the wrinkles. And the same goes for his skin. Some areas have really large wrinkles and others have very, very small wrinkles and very small texture. And when I look at your elephant, I kind of feel that you've added too much wrinkles to it. So for example, the front one here, I would have wanted more uneven wrinkling happening, so that you would have a couple of these really deep ones, but then maybe some of them not so pronounced. And the same goes for the skin itself. Like, I feel like, for example, this area at the bottom of the back end of the elephant, these wrinkles are a bit too big, and it kind of gives me a sense of wrong scale of the elephant. I feel that they should be more detailed and smaller to make him look larger. That's kind of the feeling I have. But I think
definitely,
yeah. So that's one thing, and then of course the layer of dirt and mud and all those things would help a lot to also hide some of those wrinkles and make him less beautiful and less pretty. So yeah. That would be what I would say. But again, like I said before, I think you did a great job. I think it's almost there. And when I look at the references, I think you did a great job. But there is just like a little bit extra that you can still do to it,
for sure,
to make him more realistic and to make him more like a photoreal elephant. And let me just double check one thing here as well. The other thing that and then there's also extra things you could also do. I kind of feel that this is of course just a little detail which has no bearing on your texture work, but it would help to show it, to shine. I think it would be nicer if you used lighting that would be more in line with the place where the elephant would be. At this stage, when I'm looking at the way you're presenting, this is a presentation thing, not really. You're not a lighting artist, I understand, but this is just a presentation thing that you might want to consider. When I look at this elephant, I think he's like somewhere on a field in the UK, which is really wrong because it's like moody and it's like cloudy and it's the typical colors that I associate with the field in the UK.
Sure.
And I think it would be better served for you to present your elephant on a very sunny savanna type of look instead. Because when you look at even the reference photos you have, the harsh sun really helps to sell the elephant, because most people, I've seen elephants with harsh sun. So our eyes, we are used to seeing elephants on harsh sun of India or the harsh sun of the savannah or the harsh sun of Africa. And we are so used to seeing the wrinkles having shadows, harsh shadows. We're not very often we get to see an elephant on a cloudy day, because they just don't really exist on places like London, which is cloudy and rainy. So from a presentation point of view, I feel like it would be better service for you if you always kept the sun going, both on the elephant and also on the crocodile as well. I think both of them
Okay,
would look
okay.
better with harsh shadows and with a really strong sunlight, instead of having them on such a moody environment, which kind of like doesn't help your texture. It doesn't help to show your texturing. That's the only thing I would say. But again, this is a presentation thing, of course. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think for what I would say, I would go ahead and change.
There's actually an HDR with the Savannah after the cloudy, so probably
Yeah,
it's better to move that,
yeah.
uh, to keep only that.
Is
Okay.
that one you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But
This
this,
one.
yeah, but this is really, this is actually worse in a sense that it's so low
Mm.
light. The sun is so low that you get a really strange dark darkness on the elephant, and there's no bounce of the elephant. Like if you look at the way you want to show the elephant is with a lot of bounce light, because then if you look at these photos, for example, you see the amount of bounce light that it comes from
Mm-hmm.
this floor, the fact that it's a desert, it's bouncing a lot of yellow and bouncing a lot of white. So when you put the elephant, when you're presenting it on the savannah, I would say that you should not really have such blues and such low tones. It should be really a harsh light with the sun like 12 o'clock, and then you could probably render him with a floor, with an actual sand floor, so that it would bounce the sun, bounce the light on top of him, so you don't get so much darkness. Because you see, this is pitch black here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not seeing any of the texture because it's so dark that is like actually. That's why I mentioned that this was a presentation issue in my view, because I feel like it would show your models in a better light if you would have
Mm-hmm.
bounced, pardon the pun, if you would have bounced light to them and put lime on a more bright environment that would have a lot of bounce light, you know. So that's the thing. The also the thing as well, I feel like when you look at your elephants, the real elephants from the photos, I just
Mm-hmm.
feel that also their skin is a little bit smoother as well, and it's not a how especially the ears of the elephants. You see, the ears of the elephants are a little bit smoother, and they don't have subsurface scattering, of course, but they have a little bit of see-through translucency, because they're of course the thinner part of their skin. And I just feel that your elephant's ears are like so thick that again it's almost looking like a taxidermy elephant instead of a real elephant.
Mm-hmm.
That's the things that,
Okay.
and I again, I hope you don't get upset from all this feedback.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
like trying to give you anything that I think might show up on an interview or on a recruitment meeting,
Mm-hmm.
or even the thoughts of a supervisor looking at this work. You know, I think it's really good work, but I think it's almost there. You're like missing that 10% to make it extra. You know, that would be my opinion at least. You know, cool. Now, the rest, I think the wolf is really your best of all three. I think you did a great job with the wolf. The wolf's looks great. The fur looks great. The texturing looks great. I think you did a phenomenal job. The thing that I would mention, and again, and this is a presentation thing, really,
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with your work, because you're not an animator. You're not like someone that does those kind of things. But it would be nice if the wolf had a more natural pose, because it
Mm.
looks
Yeah.
very stiff. It looks
Mm-hmm.
very almost like he's on tiptoes, almost making it look like a cat that is scared. I kind of feel that you
Yeah.
should consider having the wolf on a more natural pose. Maybe try to mimic one of these poses from the photos. Maybe the one on the top here would be nice, so it looks like he's walking or something. Or maybe get a friend of yours that has an animator that maybe can pose him in a bit better way. I just feel that the pose is not going to help you sell the realism of the wolf, because this is not a pose that I think I would ever see a wolf do. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
totally.
a lot of this stuff is like the elephant. a lot of this stuff is perception. You know, when you're showing a shot to people, sometimes shots are not photoreal because of the texturing or because of the lighting or because of the quality of the geometry or the quality of the CG or the compositing. Sometimes they're photoreal because you believe on them because they look correct. And so I think the pose would help, like the fact with the lighting or the savannah on the elephant. The closer you get to things that people are used to, the better will be for you and the better will be for you to show it, because most people, when they go to Google and they put wolf in snow, you're probably always going to find photos of journalists. You're always probably going to find them in some kind of motion. For example, in here, he's looking to the side. In here, he's walking. In here, he's like a bit scared of what is in front of him. In here, he's just like watching the prey.
Alive.
You know, they're alive. They have a pose that if they were doing something and the photographer took a picture of them. And so that's going to be halfway to selling the idea that your wolf is real, because people can relate to that pose. So I think, I know it might sound a bit silly and it might sound, well, I'm not an animator, why do I need to care about that? But it's just a perception thing. It's a presentational method of you presenting something, and it's already going to help you sell. Because the wolf looks so good, if it had a really good pose, it would have been, wow, fuck, man, this looks fantastic. It just doesn't, because you're kind of, why is he like that? Why is he stretched? It just makes it a bit strange, you know, in terms of naturalistic movement. But I think the work in display is by far the best one of all three. I think you did a great job with the wolf.
Thank you.
The texturing, the mouth, especially the nose looks really spot on, like the texturing work that you've done. I mean, it's a bit noisy, but I can completely get that you are alone and you are just an artist. Obviously, on a film, on a really big production, they would have sampled even more and they would have put more higher quality. It would have taken ages on the farm, but no one is expecting you to have none of those things fixed, because you're just like a solo artist trying to present. The only thing that I would say that you could improve, maybe, when you look at how the wolf he is that when you see the close up, and again, the other thing is all the mouth. You see the mouth of how you left him, the mouth open. It is a bit strange as well, that pose. And I know you're trying to show the teeth, but it's just a very unnatural kind of expression, almost like he's laughing. It kind of feels like you've put the wolf with the same expression as a dog, and dogs are a bit different. They're much more used to being with people, and so they are more relaxed, and their features are more relaxed, and that's what's happening with this. When I look at the front of your wolf, it looks really like a dog instead of a wolf. I think you could do some work with the teeth. I think the teeth are too clean. I think you need to do some work with the texturing and look development of the kind of dirt and yuckness of the teeth, because of course it's a wild wolf, you know, so he doesn't really he doesn't have an owner to clean their teeth. And also the gums, I think, should be more worn out, and they should be a bit more, you know, with lines and with stretches, and also like with the typical wear and tear that you get from living outdoors and breaking them and bleeding them, and again, when I look at when I look at your references, are these dogs, these mouths that you have as reference, or are they wolves?
I think those two are dogs, to be honest. Yes.
So be careful with that, because dogs are going to be groomed by humans, so they're going to be looking much healthier than a wild wolf. Now, a wolf, let's see here, wolf's teeth. Let's see if I can find, can I find a close-up of them? Yeah, you see, oh, maybe that's, is it?
It's very hard nowadays to find some proper reference.
No, I know, because you always have to be so careful if they're AI or not. Like, I know,
Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm looking here. So, but normally if you go to Getty or if you go to those kind of places, like journalistic places, or to national, usually like these days, going to Getty or going to National Geographic would be the best approach. But you see what I mean? Like the teeth usually are dirty, they're yellowed because
Some more darkening,
they're
yellowish
darkening, they're
colors.
yellow because they don't clean them and they're older. And also the gums are much darker, and a lot of the gums have problems. You know, they have little bits of blood and they have scratches and they basically have been, you know, that's wrong, that's AI, but you just need to be careful not to watch the AI ones. But I would say that the best way would just be to try to own down on BBC Earth or National Geography, National Geographic, just to try to kind of like, oh, whoops, National Geographic, hit the. It's more about trying to find photos that would come from real wolf teeth. Let's see here, wolf teeth. Getty. Yeah, I think Getty you can probably find more.
Yeah, there you go.
You see that? You see how dark the gum is? Because they're just not treated, because they're not, you know, they're not as healthy as a dog, you know. So consider that. Like try to see if you can get him more realistic to a kind of like a wolf, really. Yeah, because that's too clean. That's too pretty.
Yeah, this the work that I'm showing in the showreel, it's a bit older, like I'm speaking of months older, like two months.
Yeah.
But yeah, we progressed on the assets, so I should really hit some new vendors. And
And these things that I'm mentioning, I think they're quite easy to fix.
For sure.
I think they're easy to fix, and you know, they would help your showreel immensely. Now, going back to the conversation about being long, I think as much as you can, you should try to keep it to 90 seconds. In my view, you only take my advice if you want, Sebastiano. I think you should keep all transformers, because that is the peak of your showreel. It is the most professional work you have here. It's everyone knows this. Everyone knows the amazing work Transformers usually has. A lot of times is even nominated. It wasn't this time, but a lot of times is nominated. And so it was nominated for some VS. I think it's important for you to keep the Transformers on your showreel. I think, if anything, you can maybe reduce the time on the other ones, because we don't really need to see for so long all the other animals. For example, the crocodile, I think you should fix the lighting and the mud and the dirt. I'm not entirely sure I need to see this close-up unless you fix it. I'm not entirely... I think you could keep the references but shorter, for example. You can maybe do this turntable shorter as well. We don't need to see all this rotation light. We can probably just see a faster one, maybe. Not entirely sure we need to see this breakdown of layers this slowly. It could be faster as well, because we can always pause. I can pause and stop and go frame by frame. A lot of us do that when we're reviewing. The same goes for the elephant. I don't think you need to stay for so... All these shots can be slightly shorter, all of them. Like the elephant, for example, here, just the elephant here, we stayed on them from... I'm just going to put this on time code here. It doesn't do that anymore. So we stay from 1.9 all the way to... You see, you have it for 6 seconds on screen. It could definitely be 3. All these can be shortened. All of them. Try to shorten them a lot. This rotation could be a bit shorter as well. We don't need to see all of these rotations. We can probably just see one of them, maybe. And especially because, do you notice that the lighting is hardly changing? Because your environment is so cloudy that it hardly makes any change to your...
Yeah, it's pretty flat.
Yeah, that's the other reason why you should have a sun on 12 o'clock, because then you will really see the lighting change. So that's why you want a harsher lighting. And I understand that harsher lighting makes all the mistakes more visible, but that's the whole point. You want to show everything to everyone. But yeah, I definitely think you can cut 20 or 30 seconds of your showreel by just making all these things a bit shorter. But don't, in my personal opinion, I don't think you should touch the Transformers part, you know.
Okay. And regarding the part of considering to, considering everything you just said,
Yeah.
would you just pick some other of my works instead of the creatures, or uh, should I keep the
No,
same?
you should keep
The
it,
same?
yeah, because you already mentioned that that's what you would like to do, and you would like to also challenge yourself to do that as well. And you're just like broadening your skill set. But one thing it's really important for you to think and consider after we discuss now all these things, Sebastiano. And again, this video is on YouTube. You can always rewatch it and listen to this
Mm-hmm.
conversation again. If you just go to the same link, it will be public tomorrow, and I will put chapters and everything for people to navigate. So I would really hope that you can reflect and make those other shots better so that they are on the same level of these, because these, of
Mm-hmm.
course, the animal shots, they're almost there, but they forgive me for by saying this, they look a lot more like student projects than actual real professional projects, because they're missing certain things that should be there for them to match the level of quality of the Transformer shots. So if you're going to keep them, I think you should, but you need to improve them for them to stay there. Unless, because otherwise when a recruitment sees this showreel, they might consider that maybe you were not the total person not that they believe you, but it's just that there's so many people working on film that they might consider, well, he just probably worked a bit and there's a lot of other people involved, and that's why the shots look so good, because these ones don't look as good. And so you want to keep the same level of quality through the whole showreel. And if any of these shots that you've made, the crocodile, the elephant, or even the wolf, if you can't get to the level of what we were discussing, which is that last 10%, then
Mm-hmm.
yes, remove them. If you can't really reach that phase, if they never really look much better, or if you can't get to that extra bit, I think you can, because you're really talented and you have really good work here. I'm sure you can, but you'll need to change them a bit. And so I think you should keep them, but just make sure they are improved so that your showreel gets more impressive when they look at it, you know.
For sure. All right.
Cool, man.
Thank you very much
No problem. Is there
for all
any?
the honest feedbacks, really.
Well, yeah.
um,
I mean, I hope you don't take it the wrong way, of course, Sebastian. I'm
no, no,
always a bit.
no.
I try my best to do as constructive as possible. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really shit on anyone's work. I'm just trying to give you the most constructive approach possible to try to get you to improve it and get it as best as possible. But I would definitely advise you to show it to more people and get more opinions and get more people to listen to. I know there's a couple of more streamers that also do these kind of things, and maybe talk to them as well. I see if you can get more show reviews out of it, or contact people on LinkedIn and get more views, because there might even be things that I haven't even noticed myself, but maybe they will, so always get as many opinions as possible from professionals in the industry.
Yeah, exactly. This is where I sign up for this. So
Yeah,
yeah, thank you very much, Hugo.
no
Was
problem, no
really, really
problem.
helpful.
No problem, Sebastiano. I hope you'll have a lovely day. And you're always welcome. If you improve your showreel in any way, or if you want to show it again, you can either send me privately if you don't want to be on the stream again. You can just send it to me and we can chat offline. But if you want to come back as well, many people have done that. If you want to come back in a few months and show it again, you're happy. You will always be very welcome here.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Well, have a great day. See you later. Bye.
You too. Bye, guys. Bye bye.
Okay, cool. Sebastiano, thank you so much for sharing your showreel. Okay, cool. So we're halfway through on the showreel reviews. I just wanted to mention that apologies to our next showreel review, which is Dhruv. I'll be with you in a minute. I know we were supposed to start in 1 minute from now, but we're going to do a break first. So we'll be on a break for 10 minutes as usual. And during the break, you're going to have the opportunity to watch the trailer for my wife's book, Green Recipes for All. Really recommend you to checking it out. And also, you will also have the opportunity to see the BenQ trailers as well for the work that they are doing over there with their new monitors. Now, obviously, you don't have to watch any of it. You can just skip and put a calendar event for 30 minutes on your for 10 minutes on your clock. Which is what I'm going to put a timer as well, so it'll be exactly 10 minutes. So again, it's wonderful to be here. Also, thanks so much for everyone on the chat giving feedback as well and saying things. Thank you, Sajel. Thank you, Dark, Kenobi, and thank you, Mikhail. You guys are always here, and especially Mikhail and Sajel. Thank you so much for the support. And Frank Yoshi as well, who's here on Twitch as well. Really appreciate all the help and all the feedback and everything. Yeah, Mikhail, I know. I wish Ferrari would sponsor my stream, but that's not going to happen, is it? At least I'm a bit more happy because Lewis Hamilton won the spring race. But I was so happy about that. But then they were disqualified from the race. So that was like, you got a really big high and then you got a really big low. But I guess that's what being a Ferrari fan is all about. The highs and the lows, and they keep going up and down. So I'll be back in exactly 10 minutes. I hope you stick around. And I'll see you in 10 minutes.
Hello everyone! I'm super excited to give you a glimpse of my first cookbook, Green Recipes for All, featuring over 50 dishes inspired by amazing Mediterranean food. Inside, you can find recipes made with a variety of fresh, healthy, and versatile ingredients and popular plant-based products. These are great choices whether you already follow a plant-based diet or simply wish to cook a few weekly meat-free meals to reduce your overall meat consumption. In the book, you'll find a wide range of new and exclusive recipes, from soups and big salads to main courses and desserts, as well as some of the most popular recipes here on my channel, such as the perfectly cooked non-stick rice or the tabbouleh-style bulgur and mixed bean salad. Not forgetting a new version of the delicious tofu chocolate mousse. So, if you'd like to have a look at my book and try some of the recipes, just visit any Amazon marketplace and order a copy, which is available in hardcover, paperback or digital formats. Hope you enjoyed the book, have fun cooking, and see you next time.
Are you interested in learning compositing? My Nuke course is currently 50% off. Join today to have access to 150 pre-recorded classes, 50 hours of training, using real production assets covering industry standard techniques, with over 200 gigs of showreel material, and access to a private Discord channel with over 2,300 students. This course is endorsed by Foundry and has access to a Foundry student license paid separately. Join today at hugosdesk.myshopify.com.
Befores and Afters magazine is the monthly print mag from VFX journalist Ian Fales. Go in-depth on key visual effects topics with major VFX supervisors, artists and studios. Each issue covers a different area like creature animation, miniatures, on-set VFX and VFX tools. Find your copy at beforesandafters.com/magazine.
Okay, we are back. Thank you so much for sticking around. We're going to do now the final run with the last showreel review of the day. But first, we're going to open my drink. It's really warm here, so keep saying this on every stream. I'm not supported by Green Cola. I'm not sponsored by Green Cola. But I do like their colas a lot. They are much more natural. They don't have any nasty ingredients like normal colas have. They don't have any acids, so they kind of help your teeth. They don't really break up the enamel in your teeth. But let's just drink this lovely beverage. I do love it. I am still yet to contact Green Cola. I do need to contact them. Damn, that's cold. That is nice. Oh my god. Anyway. Yeah, that's the dream, isn't it? To get sponsored by Ferrari and by Green Cola. It's been so stupid. Why would Ferrari ever sponsor the stream? It makes no sense. Why would they ever any chance of that happening ever? Anyway, so let's continue with the stream. You saw during the break the trailers for BenQ. Again, thank you so much, BenQ, for sponsoring the stream. You also saw trailers for my course, 50% off. I put it on the chat. You also saw trailers for my wife's book, Real Recipes for All. Please consider buying it as well and supporting her endeavors on her book and having good food. And we'll have the giveaway at the end of the stream. The link is on the chat, on the top of the chat. I also have showed you the link. That's not the link. Apologies, I don't have that open. Where is it? Sorry, didn't. That was not what I wanted to show. It is. Where's the link? There we go. That's the link. So that's the link, the giveaway, which I will do at the end of the stream, and the QR code. So with that in mind, let's start the last showreel review of the day. So I'm gonna see if they are here and see if they are ready to go. Let's do this. Just give me a second. Okay. We just open it up and okay, so need to close it. For some reason it crashed. Of course, why would it not crash? Google Chrome. Oh my god, Google Chrome is so bad. Okay, I'm back here. So let's bring them in and see if this works. Hopefully it does. As I mentioned, there won't be any webcam for you to see because I can't share a webcam at the same time. Let's bring them in. Hello there. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Should I switch off my YouTube stream?
Yes.
On YouTube?
You don't need to switch it off. You can just like mute it because so you don't because I'm going to share my screen with your showreel anyway, so you don't need to be watching the stream. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for letting me know that you were not going to be able to do the first stream. It was really nice. I got everything fixed and we reversed it, and hopefully your laptop is good now and everything is fine.
Yes. I thought I would need my laptop, but I think it's fine for now if you're not going to switch on the video.
No, I'm not going to have a webcam because I can't have webcam with you. You could have, but no one will see it, and also like I can't share the same webcam.
No, I think
so.
That's better for now.
So why don't you tell me? Oh, what was that? What was that noise? Is it a car?
Oh yes, I was just below my building.
Are you on the street? No.
No, I'm below my building. There's a scooter going by.
Well, first of all, again, thank you so much for coming into the show. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell us your name. Tell us where you're calling from. A little bit about yourself.
So it's pronounced Dhruv. I think you can I think you must be familiar with the name Drew, Dhruv Shetty.
Oh, so it's Drew. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can say Drew.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So my name is Dhruv Shetty. I'm 22 and I live in
Sorry, I missed you there. You live where? I think it broke up. Kind of stopped. Hello?
Mumbai. I don't know if you're
Yeah, you're back now.
familiar with
You
the
said
place in India.
what? Just a
Okay,
second.
can you hear me?
Yeah. It failed when you say
Yes.
I live where, and then
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I live in Mumbai, India. I don't know if you know the city in India, Mumbai.
Yeah, I've been there already. Yeah.
Oh, you have been to Mumbai?
I have, yeah. 12 years ago, I came to Mumbai with the foundry, and I stayed there for a week and a half and visit many companies. I went to Red Chili's, I went to Trace VFX, I
Oh.
went to a lot of companies while I was there, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, so I think I started VFX. I actually I'm 22 and I have a degree in data science, which
Okay.
I completed last year.
Cool.
And after finishing the degree, I started my VFX. It's been about a year. So I think the first 3 months I actually started learning Houdini, and then I did a month of Blender, and then I committed to compositing.
Okay.
So for the last 6 months, I've been learning compositing, and I spent about 2 months making this showreel that I've sent you.
2 months, okay, great. Cool.
Yeah. So it's just 5 shots. I don't think it'll take that long. I think the last guy was quite impressive.
It'll be like that. Everyone is on a different journey and different locations in different parts of their life, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Don't worry. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see when I'm pointing and playing, so that you know exactly where I am. Because then it will be easier also for you to follow along with me. And just a second. Now it's going to be a bit choppy for you playback, but don't worry. People are going to see it correctly. I'm gonna mute the showreel because I don't want to be demonetized by YouTube.
I think it's
What? Hello? Hello?
non-copyright. Yes. Hello, I can hear you.
Yeah. No, I understand that you might
Yes.
think it's not. Every time, don't get me wrong, every time someone tells me, oh, don't worry, my music is not copyrighted, I get a copyright strike. So I'm not doing it anymore.
Yes.
Ever
On the
again.
safer side.
Yeah. So I'm going to. I have not watched it yet, as I mentioned too many times on my streams. I never watch the showreels before I do the review. I want to do them.
Yeah, actually, I've heard you say that.
Yeah, I always do that. So I've never seen it. I'm gonna watch it for the first time now. While we're watching it, everyone is seeing it now. You already mentioned that you worked on this for 2 months. So these are all personal work. And so, have you worked in the industry on any company so far? Have you worked on any place so far?
Not at all.
Okay.
I haven't been to film school or VFX school either.
Okay. Have you sent? Yes.
Yes. So last week I finished my showreel and I've sent it to about 5 places till now.
Okay.
And yeah, so I'm just waiting to hear back from them. Actually, I've done a few short films. I've edited a few short films. So I'm currently editing a short film.
Okay. And this short film is made by you, or is it with other colleagues or friends?
No, I want to be a film editor or a colorist, so I do the color work and the film editing. Right now, I don't have any VFX projects.
So you're working on that short film with other people. It's not your short film,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay,
I'm just a film editor.
Okay, cool. Excellent. That's always good for you to have multiple job titles so that you can like bounce around. Okay, and you started sending it. Have you gotten any feedback of this showreel whatsoever? Anyone told you anything?
Actually, I have a uncle who has a friend who works in the industry in India, and I did send it to him. He said he would offer me an internship but it's not in my city, so I don't think I'll be taking it up.
Okay. Okay. Was it a paid internship or is it free? Hello? I think it broke up again.
Yes. Yes. No, it was a paid internship.
Okay. Okay.
But it's not in my city, so I won't take it up.
Okay.
And I sent it to another person in the industry, but he's a director and a writer who does web series. He said it was impressive, and he would send it to his team who does VFX. So hopefully, I hear back from them.
Yeah. So Sajal here on the chat is asking what city you're based. You're in Mumbai. That's what he mentioned, Sajal. So it's Mumbai. Okay, cool. So let's just get this going. Okay, so first of all, I must say, like, I'm very impressed by what you've done here in 2 months. This is really impressive work for someone that has spent so little time doing this. So
I gave myself like a maximum of 2 weeks per shot, because I don't think anyone would give me more time than that.
Most likely they will not.
Yes. And I think when I used to make these shots, I would have you in mind. I thought if I ever show you this reel, I might not spot it, but Hugo will definitely spot this mistake. So I just kept refining my shots.
It's really good that you've done that. I think it's really important for students and for people coming up into the industry to really put their deadlines to them, because that's what's going to happen in your productions anyway. Everyone is going to have a deadline, and you're never going to have a lot of time. Tell me one thing, like how you've done both the CG and the compositing and the keying and the roto on all these shots. Like how long did it took you to learn these applications? I'm just curious.
I think I used to do Blender and Houdini for the first 2 months, and if you can see the last shot, I mean, all these I've taken from the 3D models from Polyhaven. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I obviously haven't modeled them from scratch.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just using models.
Of course.
So, yeah. So,
of course.
And I've been learning VFX on and off since about 2 years, but I haven't been really paying attention because I had an internship and college. So I thought I could do all three of them at the same time, but I ended up not having time for VFX as much. So I've only just committed all my time to VFX since like about a year.
I see. Okay. Well, very impressive work for so short amount of time. On the chat, we have two chats. We have the chat on Twitch and we have the chat on YouTube. On YouTube, we have more people talking right now than on Twitch, just so everyone knows. On the YouTube chat, Sajal, which also lives in Mumbai, is mentioning to you maybe to reach out to him, because Sajal is always doing a lot of work in India, and he doesn't have work right now. But yeah, you should probably.
I think it's pronounced. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you probably want to talk to him on Discord. That's what he's writing here. So he's expecting things to pick up a bit. So maybe talk to him in the future. Okay, let's get this show on the road. So first shot 1. That's the final shot that you've done, and let's look at the layers. So is this something you filmed yourself, or is it a plate that you found?
I think this is a famous shot. I don't know who the guy is. He's uploaded quite some practice footage for compositing showreels.
Okay, cool.
So he gives all the plates, and I think we just have to composite it.
I see. Well, first things first. One thing, there's two. At first glance, I think the shot looks great, but when you start looking closely to what you've done here, there's a couple of things that I think you should consider when you do shots like this, which are giveaways for how the shot is actually not a real shot. There are two problems, in my view, that are happening on this shot. The first problem is the different perspectives that are existing in these three elements that you have: the plate, the CG, and the kit. And then not just the perspective shifts, but also the lens, the changes that are existing between them. I'm going to see if I can explain. So when you look at the shot itself, so you can see here from looking at the original plate, the original plate has a certain angle, and you can see that the camera is a relatively wide shot. It's not a super wide, but it's relatively wide. I don't know what lens it is, but looking at it, it looks like it's something between a 40 to a 50, or anything between a 35 and a 50, probably, most likely, millimeter in lenses. And you can see the camera is slightly looking down. It's slightly like looking down because you can kind of see that the horizon level is over there, and you can kind of see the rooftops of these buildings. Now, when I look at your CG, I feel that your CG is in the wrong angle, because you see here, these buildings on the foreground, you should see if you put a conical perspective with some lines between this, you see this rooftop of the CG should be more from above, and the whole thing should be more rotated to match the perspective of the background plate. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's problem number one. And I can see that you've moved down these buildings that were on the background here. But the problem with the problem I have with that is that, yes, it makes it less visible that there is a shift in perspective. But it's always a bit weird when you're showing on a breakdown, you're showing this plate, and then you change the perspective of that plate. That's not usually a common thing we do in CG. If you're going to show a background plate like this, you want to kind of like make sure if you're going to build a shot on top of this plate, you want to make sure you build it on this plate and not, otherwise you don't need to show the plate. You know, if you're going to use so little of the plate, which is what you did, you just use the background almost like a matte painting. And because the problem right now is that you're showing me the correct perspective that the plate has, and then you put CG, which is completely wrong perspective, but then you lower the horizon so that it kind of fits into the CG that you've done, the CG that you've set up. So it's a bit weird that there is this disconnect. So I would advise you either to put the CG on the correct angle, or then don't show this plate, because why would you? You know, you don't need to probably show it because you're not even utilizing the tracking or the angle or the perspective of that plate at all. You know, so that's my opinion in terms of that. And then the second problem that you have in terms of the kid is that the perspective is also off and the lens is a problem. So if you look at the plate that was shot, is this also a plate you got, or is it something you filmed for the kid?
No, I think if you go, I don't know if you're aware of him. He's called Peter Timberlake,
Okay.
and he has a website where he has many of the shots. I think Foundry has done a masterclass of one of his shots. I think he's made a video on it on YouTube.
Okay.
So he hasn't made a tutorial on this shot, but he has made on some of the shots. My final end product of this video, he's done it on his website as well, and I think he's taken a similar approach to it.
It looks similar to this?
Yeah, I don't know if you ever have the time to just Google petertimberlake.com. He has this on his
Okay.
maybe he's done it better, but it's the same approach.
Doesn't really matter. I mean, if he's done it better or not, like what matters is that your shot is what it is here, and
I know.
and it's for you. But I understand what you mean. But I can.
He's provided everything.
What's the name? Sorry, can you say the name again?
Peter Timberlake.
Timberlake, and this is VFX, I guess, or something like that. So what is this website, or is it this website, you think, or no? This is someone else. Do you have a link that you can show me? Or
Can I? Where should I put it?
Put it on the chat that we have on Google, the call that we're doing right now. There is a chat there, so.
Okay.
And then I can look for them. It's probably this guy, Compositing Supervisor. It's probably this guy. Otherwise, I'm assuming there's not that many Peter Timberlakes in compositing.
I have put it on the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. So opening that up. Okay, I see. So I have it here now. Just gonna put it here. Okay,
Yeah.
so. Oh yeah, I've seen this shot with the feet. Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would give him exactly the same feedback that I'm giving you.
Yeah. Yeah, that
so,
makes sense.
so Peter, if you're listening, you should take some notes as well, because it's the same problem that he has on the exact shot. Because the problem with this is that perspective is not the same as that, and it's not the same as that, and the lens also are all three of them different, and so this is a problem. And now the biggest problem is really the kid, because the kid was filmed on a really, really wide angle. I'm gonna where is the plate? Is there? You see, that's a super wide angle. That's probably like a 24 millimeter or something, and so you can kind of see that the kid has quite a wide aspect to it. When you shoot something with a long lens, like a 100 mil or a 75 or a 50, the body's the body's perspective shifts, and so you become fatter or you become more narrow. You don't become so wide as you see the kid here on this photo. And so the problem with this is that even though you scale it down, this is a wrong perspective. Not only the perspective is wrong because he looks wide but scaled down into place, but also I think he's too big as well. If you look around and look at the ceiling and you look at how he is fitting into the scene, so there's a perspective and a shift there. And so for this to be correct, this kid should have been filmed much more far away. You should have kept the lens here and shoot him maybe half of the size. You would have been much further away on the background, maybe on this tree here or something. You should have filmed him a lot smaller, so then the scaling would be smaller and not as big as they have done. That would have been. So there's two ways of doing it: either filming him smaller on the plate or using a longer lens so that the perspective would have matched. Because people just look really different from different lenses and different perspectives. We often talk about this, like if I open this up, like lens changes. I think there's like a really famous image. You see, this is actually a good example here. When you look at the difference that this person with a 16 millimeter, you see he has a very round shape, he's very wide, and his shoulders look really small, and his head and nose looks bigger. When you look at it through a 200 millimeter lens, you notice how his neck is much thicker, and his face is much flatter as well. The most famous of them all is this animation, really, but there's also like, I think... I just saw it there. That's also interesting. So let's just open this up. Actually, this could be a good way to show it. Where is it? Is it gonna open up? Yes, it is. Okay. You see how much difference it makes when you have the 20 millimeter where his head is really large and his shoulders really tiny, and how much muscular he looks with a 200 millimeter. So this is the problem that you're going to have on a plate like this. So this kid is filmed with a wide angle, and so his proportions are filmed with a 9 angle. And so when you scale him, he doesn't change his wideness of it. So that's why when DOPs film things like this, they film with a different lens for the smaller shot, or they make him smaller in the scene. Exactly, like Reddit is Ray that is saying on YouTube here, optical compression. That's exactly the word. So that is kind of a problem. And this is the problem that you have on your shot, and Peter here has as well. So both of you have that problem on the shot. Having said that, it's a nice shot. Don't be upset or sad about it. Like, I think you did a good job. It's just that, I think you were most likely misguided by the shot you've seen with that artist that he's made as well. Which, again, it is a nice, okay shot. It's what I said on the very beginning. When you first look at it, it looks okay. But it's only when you start really going into it that you start noticing that there's something wrong. And that's what I meant. And when you're doing film or TV, or when doing like a high-end production, these kind of things need to be a bit better. That's what I mean. Okay, so going into the rest, not to mention another thing I must tell you. I also think that your shot is probably too similar to the original shot that they've done, and that is going to become a problem. I didn't knew this shot myself personally, but there's always a danger that the supervisor or the people hiring you knows that shot, and so then they'll have a hard time believing that you've done it yourself, or if you just follow the tutorial to the letter. So often it's either better for you to build something of yourself, or it's better for you to change it more so that it looks different from the shot from the tutorial, or from a shot that was free or available on the internet,
Yes, I was looking for good shots online, and since I haven't been to a VFX school or anything, I went on Reddit and asked if anyone has any good websites to find good shots, and I found this website.
Yeah, no, of course, no, it's okay. It's just that I just feel that it's always better for you to try to build your own shots, or at least have a something on the shot that makes it look different from the original person that has made it. Okay, let's move on to the next shot. So this shot here with the French Dispatch Pizzeria. Tell me a little bit about this. Like, this is again something you found online, or is that what's going on here?
I found the footage from Pixels.
Cool.
And the model from Polyhaven.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to do a CG integration plus a sign replacement shot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think you did a really good job. I'm looking at it here frame by frame. Looking at your neon, the clothing, phosphoreed, like the difference between them looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's a pretty good match. The wall is a pretty good match as well. It shifts a bit, but that's okay because it's a garage. So the only thing that I would say is that the garage door itself is not looking completely realistic there, because that's the bricks are looking good and the sign is looking good. I think the garage door looks a bit fake. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it just feels to me that it's maybe a little bit too dirty, and maybe it's something about the lighting. There's just something off with the door. I don't know, man. It's a small thing, but I think you did a good job with it anyway. I think maybe it's. Yeah, you're probably right. There's someone in the chat, Sotomount, saying the reflection is a bit off on the top. Might be that. It's a highly reflective surface on the top there. It might be that. What is exactly this door coming from? Is that an asset that you got from somewhere, the door, or is it like a photo? What's going on with this door, this garage?
Do you mean the 3D model?
Yeah, this thing, which I think it's like a cover for the store, isn't it, or something? That's the 3D model you got.
Shutout. Yes.
Did it?
So I put it in.
Yeah.
I got the model from Polyhaven, and I put it in Blender, and I 3D tracked my scene, and I try to use it as a HDRI.
What HDR did you use? Like what did you use for an HDR?
I tried quite some HDRIs, and I couldn't find a good result, so I just used this photo as an HDRI.
Okay.
And then I actually added like 10 or 12 different grades on Nuke. I think I overworked it. on Nuke, I guess. I
I
applied too many grades.
I think it is overworked. It's too bright. The reflections are a bit off, and even on your breakdown, at some point before you add all that grade, that's even more realistic. It's still not perfect, but this is actually better than the final version you've put in.
Yes, actually, I looked at this shot recently again, and I had a weird feeling that this one looked better, but I didn't want to overwork it again. I just thought I'll just show it to you, and maybe you'll spot the problem in the shot.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want to change it until I showed it to you. I was worried about overworking it even more.
Of course. And I guess there's other things as well that you need to consider. Like you can kind of see the sign, the neon sign. You see this amount of shadow that is producing into the wall here. Like all of this shadow here is actually being produced by the sign. And we don't have that shadow coming through this top of the cover. It's all even in one single lighting. So you most likely need to like put in some kind of object on the 3D scene so that there's a shadow dropping, even if it's a soft shadow, because it is a soft dye. It still should be there because it's in shadow. This entire scene is in shadow. It's not with the sun. If you look at the original shot, there's no sunlight hitting it, but there's still a very large pronounced shadow. You look through this entire bit here, that's all shadow. Of course, obviously you don't see it anymore on the glass, but that's because it's glass, and so it's so dark that you never notice the shadow anyway. So that's one thing that you should really bring that in, you know. There's other people chatting on the chat, both on the Twitch chat and also on the YouTube chat. Both chats are having you know, there's some more feedback. You know, Froyoshi says it seems a bit flat. Maybe there's no bump map, or it's too light. Maybe just the light. Also, the bricks don't project shadows in cover of the part of the garage as well. There's a couple things that you should probably look into that people are writing on the chat here, which are even adding to my uneasiness with the shot, because I kind of like felt that there was something wrong with it. And people are now adding everything else that is probably missing here.
The shot that you liked, I mean, that looked a little better before the grades. I actually posted that on Reddit on Nuke, r/Reddit, r/Nuke.
Yeah.
And for feedback, and I got like a lot of feedback on it, like 10, 12 thorough comments.
Okay.
And based on that, I changed it and I uploaded back on Reddit, and they said, I mean, some people liked it. But I always thought it was a bit uncanny, but I couldn't place what was it.
Yeah. No, I definitely think it's uncanny, and I definitely think you've overdone the grade. But I think if you go back and tone down the grade and add that extra shadow, make this area bright. So you see this side here? This shouldn't be as bright because it's in shadow. Yes. This should be a lot darker on this side because you kind of have darkness down here, which is nice. Then this should be darker as well. It's almost like this entire side should be darker. That entire side of the left should be darker. And that there's missing a bigger shadow, a soft shadow coming in through the whole thing as well. You know, so that would be what I would do. And I don't know, man, maybe think about maybe adding a graffiti into the door or something, maybe adding a poster or two or something to just put it a bit alive and make it a bit more, or maybe break it a bit, or maybe have some damage into it, you know, something that could help to sell that this is a closed building that is boarded up and it's a bit old, and, you know, those kind of things.
I actually wanted to add posters, but I ran out of time. I just gave myself 2 weeks for the shot, and I was kind of tired of it. I thought I was looking at it so much that I couldn't see what was right anymore.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Ended it on this, and I think now I can work on it based on your advice.
Be careful also on the connection point of the bricks here. You see here that these bricks are wrong. When people do brick houses, they don't usually have the wrong brick in between. So if you look at the original one, you see all the bricks on the same size always. They're all the same, except, for example, this one, which is just because of that bit. But they tend to be always the same size, except when they're connecting to the side of the wall. And on your brick wall, you have these really tiny ones in the middle here, which really shows me that this is the place you've connected the paint over. So be careful with that, making it more realistic so that the bricks are all the same size, just like on the original plate, you know.
Yeah, I knew you would spot that.
Frey Yoshi has a really good point here. This has to do with the 2 weeks thing that you were saying. Sometimes it's good to do a pause, and so you it's not a problem. You had the 2 weeks, and imagine that you've done this in a real production, and sometimes clients take weeks to respond. You know, so imagine that now your client came back 2 weeks later and told you all these things, and now you have a day to fix it, and so. Go ahead and give yourself like maybe 2 or 3 days to fix it, and try to see if you can get all those fixes in. It's a good exercise as well for you to see if you can get that over the board, you know. Yeah. Sorry, I think, did you say something or? Hello?
No.
Okay.
I'm not reading the comments, so I think I'll read it later. Thank you. So much everyone who's commenting
of
on
course
the chat.
But you know what I mean, like go and fix these things, but give you a deadline as well, almost like if you were getting feedback anyway. So next one, shot 3. I think that's they're still okay. So the shot 3, typical phone replacement with some screen, and then some roto as well. That's the original plate. Then the breakdown, the grade, and then the turning and the rotoscoping as well, and then the reflections added. It's very compressed, so it's very difficult to notice how good the reflections and everything is going. But it, at first glance, it looks fine to me. But I'm just gonna look at your breakdown here to see. Okay, so. First things first, what I would think that you should adjust is when you look at... Oh, sorry, this went a bit too far. When you look at the original plate, this is the original... No, that's the final shot. The original plate is here. Notice how there is a rack focus. So when the camera is going down here, the focusing is on the dude here, and then as it goes down, it progressively gets a little bit sharper, but still, the focus is really on this finger, the main finger on the closest to the body, and the rest, you can kind of see that the focus line is on these letters here, and a little bit on the icon of the photography, but then on the entire top here, completely defocused. Like there's a huge defocusing happening here. When you look at the replacement image that you put in, where is that? So you put the screen in, you put a bit of grade, and then you make the final version. You see, when you look at the final version, you've never really gone deeper. So your depth of field, your depth defocusing does not match the original plate. So you need to go in and really do some... instead of doing depth of field on a single thing, you need to do a ramp, like a mask, and make your own fake depth of field to that shot. Either by using... You can either use... in Nuke, you could use... machine learning type of tool to try to develop a depth pass for this, or if you want, if you don't get a good result to that, you could use a mask with a ramp and then drive that through a depth of field node and try to get that missing depth of field that you're missing here on the top of the phone. So the depth of field is definitely missing, and you can kind of see that even here when you look at the original phone's border is incredibly defocused, and then the interface that you've put in is really sharp. So be careful with that, because that's really a missing thing with the depth of field. Okay, cool. And then I think that's the main thing I would say. I think you did a good job with the rest. The other thing besides the depth of field that I think you should probably implement on your plate is that notice how overexposed the phone is. Notice how much white and brightness is on this area here, and also on the numbers and on the date. And notice how low light it is on your comp. I think you need to pump in the light so that these letters of the numbers, they should really be super bright and even have a slight glow to them so that they would match the brightness level of the original phone. I think it's too low, in terms of lighting. So there's a depth of field problem, and then there's a lighting problem on this composite. I think the rest is okay. I feel like you did a good job with the tracking and the rotation and the roto. I think that I don't really see many problems there. I think you did a good job with the motion blur as well. It's really those two things that really need to be addressed for it to be more for real. You know what I mean? Hello?
Yes. I think I looked at this video again today, and I thought that the blur was wrong.
Mm-hmm. It's often breaking up when I'm talking to you, so I'm not sure. I didn't think I followed the last thing you said.
Yeah, the blur. I thought the blur was wrong, but I thought just because the original shot, the screen had bright colors and I had dark colors around my white, so it just looked more in focus.
Mm-hmm.
I just left it as it was because I tried to match the blur as precise as possible, and I just thought it was fine because the color of the screen was quite different from the original.
Yeah, but it's not about that. It has nothing to do with the color or any of the things that you just mentioned. It's about the depth of field range. When you look at the original photo, the original image that you had there, notice how the depth of field is actually diagonal. You see, it's focused there. It's a bit defocused there, much more defocused here, and then diagonally it gets more and more progressively focused to a point that this edge here on the closest to camera is a lot more defocused than the edge more far away from the camera. That's what your depth of field is missing. It's not about the value of depth of field. It's about how it's exponentially getting more defocused as it gets closer to camera, because it's a diagonal line. And when I look at your depth of field is just straight. You see here, the number 12 is exactly as defocused as the number 0, and that is wrong. That because it should be diagonal, and the number 0 should be twice as more defocused as the number 2, just like on your original plate. So always look at the original plate, because on the original plate it gives you all the information. You see how much that 7 is more defocused than the 5, and notice how much defocus exists on this text compared to that one there. So you need to think about depth of field as something that is not in line. Sometimes it's diagonal, sometimes it's round. You always need to look at the plate and see if you can find the clues for what you're trying to put into your composite,
Yeah, I should have put a ramp of blur, I think.
Well, look into that and see if we can get to that fixed. Okay, let's move on to the next shot. Next shot 4. So we have this dude here on an environment with a car. Really nice shot. That's the original. You then did roto and key, and then we replaced the sky, put like a new background, and I guess you put in the car as well because the car wasn't there. I think you did a really great job. I feel like, if anything, I think you did a good job with the depth of field, with the roto, with the key. Really good replacement. I think this is actually one of your best shots. So really don't have much to say. I feel like you did really, really good job. The only thing that I noticed, and it's very subtle, Just be a little bit careful that there's like this halo effect on the hair, just on the lower section of the hair. And I think that's the only thing that I can spot. And I feel like that was not on the rotoplate, so I'm not sure where that comes from. I think it's on the grade again, because you see here, it's not there before you put the grade. There's something going on building up all these halo whitish effects that is happening here on the back.
What's the node's name? I forget the node's name. The edge glow.
It's
what is it called?
You're talking about the light wrap?
Oh yeah. Sorry, light wrap. I think is it that?
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, maybe you need to tone it down.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to tone down that light wrap. The other thing as well that you need to probably consider is that the sky color, I don't know if it's your grade, but it's a very unrealistic blue. Normally, this is not the blue of sky. You need to be a bit careful with that, because often skies don't have this type of almost teal look.
Fluorescent. It looks quite fluorescent.
It's too saturated. It has just a strange color, so be careful with that as well. Okay, cool. But it's definitely a really nice shot. You did a great job. Okay, which kind of like bears the question to me that I think it should be on the beginning of your showreel, because it's your best shot so far. So definitely should be the first one of your showreel, because it's the best one you've done so far. And then we only have one left. Yes. So this one here, shot 5. This is from a tutorial online, isn't it?
It's from Tears of Steel.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
A Blender movie.
Okay. Okay. Did a good job with that atmosphere and the look of it. The only thing I would say is that it's a really nice idea with the atmosphere and that you put in, but you need to somehow cut the atmosphere by the actor. And so you need to like build some kind of fake depth mask with the actor so that you would cut the actor, because you see depth, the whitest area here is more foggy, and then, for example, you see this object, which is a bit darker. This object is actually more far away from camera than the main actor, and so that means the main actor's mask, you should pick up his alpha channel and actually pre-multiply it by this depth, so that you would get a slightly, and then use a grade node to have less of it, so that you would get a similar gray than this box here. So you would have the mask of the dude here with a slightly darker gray, and that would cut out the depth, so that when you put in the person here, the person is actually traveling through the depth, and actually, because right now it looks like the depth is on top of him. You know what I mean? And the depth should really be in him. He should be walking through it. So if anything, the gray that he has should progressively, he should start more darker, and then he should fade into the fog, so you need to like build that up into your shot, yeah. Cool, man.
I think have you seen Ian Hubert's approach, how he uses green screen in Blender, and how he places it in CG scenes?
No, I have not.
He takes like two-dimensional green screen footage, and then he kind of and he displaces it through the scene as a image plane, as a two-dimensional image plane.
Yeah, that could work. There's also other ways of doing that. You could also try to. I always give it a go with the machine learning tools. So you should probably also pass the plate with the machine learning on the Cattery with machine learning Nuke, where you could build the depth pass. Maybe it will work. Maybe it will give you some kind of depth pass with the footage that you have here. It's probably worth a shot to try to build that up. So that will definitely help your shot. Now, other things that I would say is that the CG, I think it's missing a few things. Let me just go to the final thing here. The first things first is it's missing motion blur. It has no motion blur whatsoever. You should probably put in a bit of motion blur. There's something really strange happening. I'm not sure which is going on. You have a lot of almost like artifacts happening
I think
here.
it's a render problem in Blender, cycles problem.
Yeah, you need to like look into that and see what's going on, because it's really hard to see exactly what the problem is. You also have a quite harsh white edge through the key. You see there's like a really harsh white edge there. You need to be careful with that, because it looks very bright. It shouldn't really be that bright. Because when he's over here, yes, that's right. That's fine with the light wrapping. So this is correct. But when he's in front of this building, he should never have a white edge, because behind, light wrapping works that picks up the brightness of the background and superimpose it on the foreground, but there's no brightness on the background. So, Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Well, that's it, really. So, yeah. You have quite a lot of things to do here. I feel like you should definitely move the shot of this dude here with the car to the front, and then you need to fix the rest of the stuff. You need to fix, you need to like look into some of the details on this door here. You need to look at the depth of field of the phone. And then you need to look into the artifact of the last shot and also the depth pass as well. So there's quite a lot of things that you kind of need to like fix and kind of look into if you want your showreel to become into a level that the company would bother to get back to you.
Yes.
Cool, man. Anything else you want to say, or is that it?
No, I just wanted to say thank you for this and everything you have done on YouTube. I think I've started only learning Nuke on YouTube, and before finding your channel, I used to find it quite boring. And you are one of the, in my life, I don't think I've had if I can call you my teacher, I've had only a few teachers that I really like, and you're one of them.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that.
I think,
Thank you so much for saying
that.
You're
really helped me build a good eye rather than just focus on the skills of, just doing the task rather than just doing the task, building a good eye for what looks wrong and what looks right. I think whenever I'm working on a shot, I just think, if I showed you this, would you spot any mistake? And then I refine it further.
Cool. Well, I mean, you're very kind. Thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate your really kind words. And I'm always happy for you to come back. You're always welcome to bring your showreel again, either privately if you contact me, or if you want, you can join the stream again. So, but keep going, my friend. You're talented. You have some good shots on your showreel. Don't give up, and keep just building them and making them better. Like that's the way to go.
Yeah. Thank you, and thanks everyone on the chat. I haven't read everything you've written, but thanks for all the feedback.
Yeah, people are great on the chat. We have a great community, and you can always rewatch it. This video will be available on the same link. It will be public, and it will be with chapters and everything, so people can navigate. And you can always watch the chat again. It will be there for replay as well. So, okay, cool. Well, thank you so much, and I'll leave you to it then. Have a great day, my friend.
Yes. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Excellent. We are done for today. Look at that. It's time flies when we're having fun. So let's do the giveaway then. Again, thank you so much for everyone that has been here today on the chat, and everyone giving so much feedback to everyone here. Much appreciated. The giveaway is on the screen again. I'm going to do it now. Don't forget as well that we are going to be back next week with the radio show. So radio show is going to be back on Thursday, next Thursday, which will be on the 3rd of April at 5 o'clock. So come back for the showreel, for the radio show. We'll be talking about a lot of topics and a lot of things regarding AI and regarding this entire thing that happened with Ghibli Studios in Miyazaki, and I really want to chat a bit about that. In the meantime, I'm going to put the link again on the chat here. Thank you so much for everyone that was here. We had about 400 people watching on YouTube, and we had about 75 or so on Twitch. Can't thank you enough. It's amazing that you took the opportunity to stay here. For all of you, thank you so much for being here live, and everyone that is watching as a recording, thank you so much for supporting my channel, and thank you so much for watching my content. It's much appreciated. As always, if you want to support the studio, the YouTube channel, you can become a member of the YouTube channel, and then you get your names of the credits, and you get some early access. Or you can become a Patreon as well, or you can become a subscriber on Twitch. On Twitch, it's free if you have Amazon Prime, so consider that. If you have Amazon Prime, consider becoming a subscriber. It means a lot to me. It helps my channel a lot, and it's free if you have an Amazon subscription. You can add my channel as your subscriber, and then I get some money from Amazon, and you don't pay a dime. So I really appreciate everything that you guys do. Okay, thank you so much for all the kind words and in the chat as well. Thanks, Sajal. Thanks for your kind words. Thank Fran Yosha for your kind words as well. Much appreciated. Fran Yoshi is always so supportive. Okay, so let's do the giveaway. I'm gonna just open it up here and see what's happening on the giveaway. So let's see here. I have 35 entries on the giveaway. Let's just get the giveaway going and see who win the Nuke course. So this is going to be a free Nuke course. And okay, let's see here. So we have the winner of the Nuke course is. See if I need to be careful not to copy your email by mistake. Okay, cool. So that's the winner as well. So the winner is Palermog. I guess that's how I say that. Is it? Oh, he actually is talking on Twitch. Palermog, you just won the new course. It's the first time chatting as well. Yeah, you're on Twitch. I can see you. Most people are on YouTube on the chat because we have a lot more people. We have about 40 people on YouTube right now, and we have about 10 on Twitch. Congratulations, my friend, Palermorg. First time chatting on Twitch. Congratulations, you become. Oh, you're on YouTube as well. You become. You have my course for free. As always, if you already are my student, I'll give you the workshops. If not, I can give you something else. But congratulations for winning the course. Are you my student, or are you? It's the first time you're on Twitch. You've been here before. Okay, I see. Oh, this is great. This is great. Glad that you're here. A lot easier this way. Okay, so. Don't worry. I'll send you the login as soon as I'm in a couple of days, probably tomorrow or Sunday. I'll send you the login for the course. Again, everyone, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for supporting my channel this much. And we'll see all each other next week. We'll be coming back with the radio show. In the meantime, have a great day. I'll see you all later. Have a great day. Bye-bye. See you all later. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Make sure you relax. Make sure you rest up. Make sure you don't work too much this weekend.